First of all, there's been a huge build-up of tension between the brand companies and the supermarkets for years and years and years. The supermarkets don't like selling brands who determine the rules. Secondly, you have this enormous war within the supermarkets between the discounters and the Tesco's of this world, so the pressure is there. Thirdly, you've got the online tension, which is affecting the supermarket business generally at any rate, and people don't want to go to supermarkets as much as they did. And then finally, you get Brexit, which throws a huge wobble that undoubtedly what Unilever is doing is justified in terms of the economics of it, but Tesco is worried that Aldi may not follow suit. They will have to follow suit because these costs as a result of devaluation are too big for any company to carry.
So your sense then is who is going to emerge from this standoff as the winner?
Nobody. They're all going to lose. The Unilevers are going to have to suffer a little bit because the premiums they've got for their products won't be as big as they could be. The Aldis of this world are going to have to put up their prices. The relationship between the Aldis and the Tesco's is going to be the interesting one. There is oversupply in the market. This is exacerbated then when you get a huge price increase like this.
Of course, if the pound is weak at the moment, this could be a temporary blip. I mean, there is every chance, isn't there, that this could just level itself out again and we won't see these prices high for long?
I think it's very unlikely that that will happen. I think that the pound has probably been overvalued even before Brexit, that the pound is now getting to its proper level. I suspect it's going to go below its proper level and that there's going to be a serious problem for inflation in 6 to 12 months' time. So
what are you saying in terms of the British shopper and the impact it will have on us now?
I think it will bring people, bear in mind I'm a Remainer, it'll bring back to reality people the consequences of leaving the European Union. It will certainly realise that whatever benefits there may be, there will be no economic benefits for the consumer as a result of what's happening.
I guess, you know, as you've said, you were a staunch Remainer and people on the other side will be quick to say don't jump to these sorts of conclusions. But in terms of what it means for our shopping habits, I mean, it doesn't mean we're never going to have Marmite on the shelves again, does it?
No, not at all. That's where Unilever will win, because despite the fact that people may grumble about paying more for Marmite, they will pay more for Marmite, and that's what the strength of good brands are. But then the people who pay more for Marmite have got less money to pay on something else. So it will affect shoppers' behaviour in a substantial way. And the argument is which are the product areas which will survive and which are the ones which will do badly.
So tonight we're looking, as Chris explained, principally at Tesco and Unilever. You think this is going to be, what, a pattern repeated throughout supply chains and throughout supermarkets?
Oh, inevitably. I mean, Tesco happened to be the biggest, but I mean, Sainsbury will be facing the same problem, the same tension with the Unilevers and with the Nestle's, and we'll see how this battle works out. And the interesting point is how the discounters, who are apparently prospering at the moment, how they're going to deal with this situation, because they'll have the problem too. They'll have to deal with these price increases.
When you say price increases, what would be your estimate in terms of the increase on a family shop?
Well, the indication is that what I see is the Unilever want to put their prices up by 10%. Well, if Unilever want to put their prices up by 10%, it's unlikely that the impact on price inflation going forward is going to be less than 5%, something like that. The agricultural commodity products work in a different way, but I would have thought that we're looking for food inflation of 5% in about 12 months' time.
At what point do you think this becomes hard politics? I think it was HSBC who said last week the pound is now the de facto opposition. If you see this in terms of Theresa May's comments or statements about pretty much a hard Brexit in March, do you expect her to modify that language or to change a date or to row back, or is that now set in stone?
I think that's a big question, that the politics seem to have overtaken the economics in the last 10 days. the economics may be hitting back now. The moment the great British public realises that there's a real cost to pay for Brexit, then the government will have to take account of that. And I suspect in the middle of next year, that's exactly the situation we're going to be in. There's going to be some sort of a crisis, and the politicians who want Brexit, never mind what, are going to have to think again.
You know the inside story of how a supply chain works. I guess I'm expecting a lot of people will be quite surprised to hear that Marmite was imported, or any of the other products that aren't made here. I mean, do you think we'll just start buying more locally now?
Well, there's a limit to what we do. We've always been big importers of food. At the moment, 40% of our food is imported. You can do a little bit in terms of improving domestic production, but I mean, that could have happened at any time. There's no particular reason why it should be strengthened because of now. You know, like the doctors, we suddenly say we need 1,500 extra doctors. Well, we could have had 1,500 extra doctors 5 years ago, but suddenly because of Brexit, we want them. I don't think that's going to make a change. There are fundamental issues, structural issues, which will not go away by a knee-jerk reaction to leaving the European Union.
Lord Haskins, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.